Hi, good afternoon. How you doing? It's Jim. It is Wednesday. So, at the minute, part two, side two of Moontan is uploading. No, it's not. It's uploaded. It's on YouTube, but it's got a worldwide block on it at the minute. And it is particularly blocked just for one song, Radar Love, which is crazy because I've had a look around the old internet, around YouTube, and so many other people have got Radar Love as a reaction on there, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Anyway, I've disputed it. It still says blocked. I'll check it again in due course and see whether it's live. But in the meantime, I need to do something else. So, in December, we got to part 6 of looking at my record collection, which is over here. And instead of doing I through to K, or whatever it was I got to, I did a big chunk of I, which was Iron Maiden. So that needed a whole video for its own right, because there was so many records. So now I'm going back to the beginning of I. I'm going to skip over Iron Maiden, and then we'll flow through and see how far we get. So, what have we got here first? The first I that we have... This is Igor. Spirituality and Distortion, which we listened to on the channel a year ago, maybe, or maybe a bit less than a year, maybe last summer. Absolutely crazy, bonkers album. Doesn't really know what genre it is. It's all of them. What genre is Igor? Yes, is the answer. Okay, it's fab. Have a look at that record, if that video. It's really, really cool. Next up is... I think I got this from a second-hand record shop. It's a compilation, In Good Company. It has Chicago, Spirit, Laura, Nairo, It's a Beautiful Day, Black Widow, Mike Bloomfield, Santana, Argent, Johnny Winter, The Birds, Gun, and Trees. So actually quite a nice little record there. I've not listened to it, but that only cost me like 50p, in the bargain bin of a record shop. So I haven't even cleaned it. It's probably a bit mucky that, but it needs a good clean, and then I think that'll be a fun one to listen to. Next up, we have... Do you recognise this? It's been on the channel. This is Intronaut. Fluid Existential Inversions is the album. Really, really cool progressive metal. If you're not a fan of growling, this is probably one to avoid, but this is absolutely fantastic. I did listen to... I don't even know if I listened to the whole record on the channel, but I've certainly listened to a bit of it. We've had it on the channel. It's great. Really cool. Then, still in I, this is a record that featured... What was it for? I think I did a thing where I was just talking about things that I don't talk about on the channel very often. So I'm talking about it twice in 1 week. It's the soundtrack to Interstellar. Hans Zimmer. It's amazing. This is just amazing music. I'm sure you already know. You know Hans Zimmer. You've probably seen the film. And it's just wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, next up. This is something I've not listened to at all yet. And this is really on the strength of recommendations. This is IQ. This is IQ Live. Subterranea. Live at de Bourdieu, easy for me to say. Live at de Bourdieu, October the 22nd, 2011. I've also, at the same time, got some IQ CDs. So this is a band that we've only listened to once so far on the channel. Just one song, and that was in a selection. So I've got a lot of IQ to catch up with. This is a brand new release as well. It literally just came out in the last, couple of months. So I had this on pre-order, on the strength that everyone, or a lot of people, keep asking about it. So it better be good. That's all I can say. Next up, one of my favourite records from last year, Isis Panopticon. We've listened to this. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic record. And a lot of you agreed. I have to thank Julian for sending this to me. It's a very special thing. I have listened to it more than once. We listened to some more Isis a few weeks ago, but that was on CD rather than on record. This is the only Isis record I have. It's quite hard to come by. So I do appreciate that. I really know. So thank you. Right, next up we have 2 records by It Bites. We have The Big Lad in the Windmill, which unfortunately is broken. I've just got it there as a placeholder at the minute. I don't know if you remember, a while ago I was cleaning some records and I dropped them. So one of them was Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. It's smashed. The other one was this. It broke at the same time. However, I'm keeping it here just so I've got a space in there. Scrub that. I'd forgotten I'd done this. I've got 2 copies of it. I replaced it. So I've got the old copy and I've got the new copy. So yes, we have The Big Lad in the Windmill to listen to by It Bites. And we also have Once Around the World. So I know, Philip Bellew, you've asked for some tracks from It Bites as part of your membership perk. We've already done one. We've also got Once Around the World, the song itself, to listen to, which will be coming up at some point. I don't know if we've got anything else on here. I think we've got one which is going to be coming off. I think I Got You Eating Out of My Hand is going to come off this one. Then we got another song which is on a different album that I don't have. So that will be an iTunes download. Now, I do know we said we were not going to be talking about Iron Maiden, but I do realise that since we last spoke on my Iron Maiden selection, I have got this. I've been trying to get this for ages, and the price was right. I found one. This is called Iron Maiden. Oh, God, it's a beast. No sort of pun intended. The First 10 Years. It's a box set of singles from 1980 to 1990. I got this a few months ago. This is it's a weighty old thing. There's 20 vinyls in here. It's fantastic. I can quickly tell you what's in here if you'd like to know. So we have got Running Free. We have got Women in Uniform. We have got Purgatory. Actually, I have to say, on the other side, it's Made in Japan. And also on the other side of Women in Uniform, it's The Twilight Zone. We have got Run to the Hills and Number of the Beast. We have got Flight of Icarus and, of course, The Trooper. There is 2 Minutes to Midnight, Aces High. Run to the Hills again, live. Running Free, live. Wasted Years, that's such a good song. Stranger in a Strange Land. That actually, I'll show you in a minute. Can I Play with Madness and The Evil That Men Do on the other side. We have then finally Clairvoyant and Infinite Dreams. So, lots. Now, I was just going to say, so this single here, Stranger and a Stranger, I have to say, can you not get over how good the artwork is, even for all their singles? It's just fantastic. So you've got Eddie there as his sort of Clint Eastwood character from a Wild West, but set in the future. I've got one of these. This is my little Eddie. Same character. Anyway, put him down there. And I shall put those down because they're taking up too much space. Right. that is the I completed. We now move on to J. So I've got a section here. How many have we got? 2 of these. Oh, come on. Can't get them out. The Jam. Snap. And In the City by The Jam. Such a great group. Such a great band. Paul Weller, I think, was... in fact, all of them. You know, Bruce Foxton on bass and Rick Buckler on drums. They're an amazing, amazing trio. Probably not as... they're very, very celebrated here in the UK, but I don't think they're recognised further afield very much. Maybe I'm wrong. But I know the Police were hugely influential and recognised and talked about around the world, whereas I don't think the Jam were as much. But they very short-lived. They burnt very, very brightly. But obviously, Paul Weller has been involved, at the forefront of British contemporary music for a long time in different bands and different things he's been doing. But these are just classic records, absolutely classic records. James. Not quite sure why I have this one. So my favourite track from them was Sit Down, which is probably the one that most people know. Might have got this in a second-hand shop as well. It's a 12-inch single. Janis Joplin, greatest hits. Enough said. I mean, she's just beautiful, beautiful music. I thought I had another one that I got out of order. Anyway, maybe not. We then have a little selection. We're in J's, so we have Jean-Michel Jarre, Equinox. The music that this guy produced and still does is just sensational. Absolutely love it. Oxygen, another classic, and Rendezvous. So some really strong 70s. Have we got these 80s as well? I think they're all 70s, aren't they? 77. There's a date on that one. But if they're into the 80s, it's only very early 80s. 86 on that one. So 70s and 80s. But yeah, Jean-Michel Jarre. I tells you. My one and only Jeff Beck record. Truth. But it's a good one. We then have Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds. If my record collection was reduced to maybe 10 records, this is one I'd keep. This is absolutely one I'd keep. I love this with all of my heart so much. It's been so important to me. Not important, but it's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I know every word, every single note that's played, every beat of every drum, every single spoken bit of dialogue in it. It's just absolutely fantastic. I spent hours as a child poring over the photographs the paintings in the book, and just it's absolutely fantastic. It's such an incredible, fully immersive thing, and it's what you want from an album. It's just it's brilliant. Then we have Jefferson Airplane. This is called The Surrealist Pillow. Now, I got this because I wanted some music for my radio show, and I was able to get this at a good price. But I've not listened to this properly yet, so I need to probably at some point give this a properly good spin on the channel. But it's interesting music, really interesting, and I've only just scratched the surface a little bit with this band, so I need to go further, and I'm looking forward to doing so. Next up we have... what's her name? So this is... I bought this last year at my brother's jazz festival. Oh, Jelly Cleaver, that's it. So she's She was a jazz musician who played at the festival that my brother put on last year. And it's just hauntingly beautiful music. It's just herself standing on this huge stage with an acoustic guitar and loop pedals and effects and things, but she just produces incredible sound just herself. I had to buy her record, so you probably don't know this, but that's what this is. Jenny Cleaver. Now then, it doesn't play very well. Jerry Lee Lewis. It's a bit scratched. Live at Hamburg, the Star Club. Meant to be a bit of a classic. I bought this sight unseen. Scratched. This doesn't work very well at all. So I was hoping that was going to be a good one to listen to, but it's. I don't think any amount of cleaning is not going to help that. We then move into what can only be described as the Jethro Tull section. So I'm going to have to pull out a whole wad of these. Man alive, there's a lot. There's a lot. Before we get to that, I forgot this. Jesus Jones. Jesus Jones Doubt. This is a late 80s, 90s band. I really like them. I don't think they were sort of really... well, not setting the world on fire with new musical ideas and things, but they had some quite catchy tracks. International Bright Young Thing and Real. Good record, if you're into that sort of thing. But it's 90s sort of pop rock stuff. I enjoyed it. It's fun. Right, now, as I said, we're into the Tull. Some of these have been on the channel, some of them not. So we have space for a lot more Jethro Tull yet. So, first of all, we have Heavy Horses. Of course, this has been on the channel. And Songs from the Wood has been on as well. Very, very good. We've also had Thick as a Brick. And, of course, we've had Aqualung, the Stephen Wilson remix. Now then, what else have we got here? I think, yes, Stand Up also we've listened to on the channel. But beyond that, this is all now unknown territory. So we have got a record called Benefit. We have got Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. We have also got Minstrel in the Gallery. I think that's what it's called. Minstrel in the Gallery. And one which doesn't really... This is much more modern. Rock Island. So tell me about these albums. Which one we should be looking at or listening to next. Because they're here ready to be played. Right. What else have we got next? A bit of Hendrix. Everyone used to have a bit of Hendrix. Band of Gypsies. Jojo Gunn. Run, 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 Shake That Fat. Babylon. I Make Love. Barstow Blue Eye. I don't know this record. Where's this come from? I think this might be an inherited one from my uncle. So he gave me loads of stuff back a few years ago. And I think this is probably one of them. Sorry, I haven't listened to it, Uncle. I should get around to doing that very soon. We then have a couple of John Cougar Mellencamp. We have Scarecrow and the Lonesome Jubilee. These were both recommended to me by Walt. We've listened to... I think it was Scarecrow we've listened to. We haven't listened to the other one yet. That will come up at some point. So, can you hear me? My microphone keeps disappearing over there. Sorry about that. But yes, we should get round to that. What do we have next? We have... Well, I'm at a loss to tell you what this is. John Themis, Ulysses and the Cyclops. I wonder if this might have come in my... I bought a big job lot of records from a radio station last year, you may recall. And I have listened to some of them, but I've not listened to all of them by any stretch of the imagination. And I think this might be one of them. So I have no idea who, what, why, anything about it at all. That might be one to come up very soon, because I do like picking these completely random things that I don't know and giving them a spin. Right. Then we have John Wetton, Caught in the Crossfire. This definitely came out of that job lot from the radio station. Not listened to it yet. We have Joni Richards. Who's Joni Richards? And why have I got it? This is a job lot as well. This is a jazz fusion box of records I bought for £20 off eBay. I'm very, very pleased with that. Some of it's been really good. Some of it's not so good. Some of it I have not listened to. I think this might be one that I've not heard. But I'll play it sometime. We'll see what that's like. Again, that's quite good fun. As I say, trying to sort of listen to some of these old records. Now, this is quite a recognisable one. Johnny Winter, Second Winter. The records are good. The sleeve is absolutely abysmal. It's falling apart, as you can see. I think it got this water damaged, but the record itself, surprisingly, is in really good condition. So, what's that tell you? Water ain't bad for records. It probably is, but it worked okay for these. We then have... Oh! So this will appeal to some of you watching. It's a little selection here. We have John and Vangelis. We have John and Vangelis. We have John and Vangelis. And we have that one twice for some reason. So we have short stories. We have The Friends of Mr. Cairo. And The Best of John and Vangelis. So these are all unheard. I've not heard a single note from these at all yet. Illumi, these are for you. So let me know at some point when you want to listen to some of those, and we'll get around to them. Right. Do I need to say anything? Elias' Son Hello, John Anderson. Right. So... Oh no, so I was saying I thought I had more Janis Joplin. I was completely wrong. It's not, it's Joni Mitchell. Of course it is. These are great records. For the Roses, and of course, needs no introduction, does it? Oh my lordy. What are we doing for time? 23. So I think we're going to get to the end of J. There's too many K's here, so... Keep going. Josh White. Good Morning Blues. I think one of my uncle's old records, that. I know nothing about it. Then we have... This is Joy Formidable. I love this band. I've seen them live a few times. It's... I don't even know how to describe it. So she's the singer, a guitarist is she's called Roxy. She's a tiny little thing. Stands at the front of the stage. She's accompanied with her partner who plays bass and a guy who plays drums, and they just make noise. A lot of it. It's sometimes a bit poppy, but sometimes it goes off the scale, bonkers, loud, and it's great. I love this band. Love this record. There's a track called Whirring, which was one of the very, very first videos I ever made on my channel by this band. So that may be the second or third video I ever uploaded a long time ago. That's a live one. That's fun. Go and have a look at it if you want to. Don't. If you don't, I don't care. Right. Oh, come on. Julian Cope. My Nation Underground. This guy is absolutely brilliant. I love him. Absolutely love his music so much. Again, another 1980s artist. I discovered when I was in senior school because of other people listening to him. I didn't know the Teardrop Explodes before then, so I then went back and heard the Teardrop Explodes, which was his band. So yeah, really, really cool. Really cool stuff. How are we doing? We've got... Oh, so that should have been in the other bit. This is another Joy Formidable record. So it's slightly got out of sync. That's an album called Into the Blue. So let's pop that there, get that back into the right place. And we have Rudy. I hope you can see this. This is Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East. This is the album from which that live track we listened to came. Was it Tyrant on your mixtape? So this is sitting in my collection, but not listened to yet. So I think I'm going to start doing some live album listens. So we've obviously done one or two, but that'd be good to do. So there we go. That's it. We got to J. That took a long time. It took a long, long time. So next video of this, whenever that pops up in a few months' time, probably, will be K. Probably K to L. And then we've got a big, big chunk of M. So that'll be by itself. But yeah, we'll leave it. Pop that back in there. Leave it there for now. I'm going to see whether Golden Earring has been released and if we can get it unblocked. But, anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a little trip through a few more of my records. I'll see you guys on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. Until then, this is Jim, over